Hey, I'm Scott Dennis. I'm a street photographer from London. Shoot the street in London now for the last 5-6 years. So I got into photography years ago, really. It's when I decided to leave the UK, first to go travelling, but then to live in Australia and do the work and holiday visa there. So I got my first DSLR before I left and really kind of found enjoyment through documentary photography, documenting the place I'm going to, and also then like landscapes and documenting them as well. And that was the first real jump into photography, I would say. Right, let's see what we can get. A perfect London summer day. Looking for some steamy windows if possible, but not quite got them. It's not too much happening right now. About 10 minutes ago it was raining, so there was a lot of people running. I think street photography came at a later stage. So I think a big influence for me to kind of start in kind of city or street photography was Hong Kong. So when I decided to basically move back to the UK permanently, 8 years after kind of originally leaving, I visited Hong Kong on the way back and just fell in love with the big city, the night kind of scape, the skyline. It was incredible, really, and I just really found my groove there, really, for urban and street photography. So when I came back to London, it was something I was drawn to, I suppose, more. And obviously, there's no big landscapes in London, right? So you can't shoot that here. So I had to adapt to shoot different things, and street was the one. So there's this pub here that I was talking about just now. Sometimes there's a couple of windows where you can get some nice distorted shots, especially when there's someone like behind with like a bright t-shirt on. There's a guy now drinking a pint, which is quite interesting, and a big swig. So let's see how that will turn out. But I even quite like that one where he's holding the glass. But let's see. I say it's a bloke, it's actually a lady. Finishing a drink. So that was a good start. So I think we've got 2 now images to start with. Okay, so let's rock on. You got some good bow, by the way, this place. Recommended. What does street photography mean to me? I think for me it's a really good outlet. I think it's quite easy to get caught up in our daily lives. Obviously you're really busy, your freelance work, myself also, and in other parts of life. And I always trying to find a few hours each week for street photography, because it's one. You walk on the street, and if you can ideally get into this flow state where you're just thinking about street photography, I think it's such a nice place to be, and it's a state where you don't think about anything else. And it's just, I suppose some people get it through watching football or playing football or sport, or personally, I get that feeling through, or that outlet through street photography, really. So, yeah, that's the main reason I keep on doing it. And obviously the enjoyment of taking a photo and hopefully taking a good photo, and obviously editing and posting it. It's to share it with people. It's obviously there's some fulfillment there, but I think just the action of going out and shooting is, what I enjoy most, basically. Trying to get some isolation or a frame that actually works. I quite like the guy on leaning there as well, which is quite cool. I'm just going to see if I can get this guy with that might be cool. And there's a guy leaning here against that post, which was. I might have missed a shot now, but it was quite a cool image, actually. It was leaning against it as it was like, but again, it's quite not the best of image, but one for the locker, so we'll carry on. So yeah, you do, obviously this guy was looking at us and wondering what we're up to, but act natural, walk on. My style of shooting, I would say, really, it's just I always look for the interesting moments, like little special moments. It could be a couple in a window, like having a moment, kissing, or an old couple walking down the street holding hands, or waiting for a bus together, or something just unique moments. I think I'm always trying to search for. If not that, then just unique compositions or nice frame compositions. I think the main thing is probably moments and people. Okay, I'm just going to head towards, I think, over the bridge and towards Bank now. The rain stopped, the light's pretty flat. Just really now looking for interesting people, really, and frames. Nah, so on that one. I'm just doing cross after this bus. Again, trying to scan, trying to see if anything of interest comes. Yeah, biggest influences or influencers in photography. I think the first one, the major one, was probably a guy called Jared Singh. He's an Australian photographer. He travels a lot now, a passenger, the artist. And he always had this way of capturing these himself and people in landscapes just uniquely. A lot of symmetry, but they're always very powerful images, and they always drew my eye. And I think my earlier work does draw a lot of inspiration from him and his work. But then moving it on to like London, I suppose, and street, there's quite a few I can mention. Obviously, there's like Andrew James Campbell's one that comes to mind. Frederick Ailing, I think, is another one that I've found recently his work is outstanding. There's a guy called Morten, I think, from Norway in Oslo, and the way he captures his colours, and silhouettes, I think, is incredible. So all very varied. Also, you can mention people that we know, like Darren, for example, Darren Sachs. Sachs on Instagram. It's his works, his unique eye for capturing things is incredible. So I think inspirations for street is generally all around me as well, with the people I shoot with, or it could be people I follow online that I haven't met. But I think of a wide range of inspiration for street. Just missed a shot there. So if I got that guy coming up the stairs, it would have been a really nice shot, I believe. But let's see what else we can get. And it's just okay. Yeah, with a busy frame in the background. Obviously, got the cars at the moment as well, which are not ideal to look out for. So just want to see if I can nip across above him, just to get him ahead of him, just to get a shot of him isolated walking across the road. But let's see. Yeah. Cool. See how that turns out. Yeah, editing style. I think it's varied a lot over the time. I think it varies from winter to summer, obviously, and it all relates to kind of the weather, I suppose, and the atmosphere that I shoot. So in winter, I am drawn. It's mostly in London. There's a lot of rainy days, so I'm drawn to these like real moody, atmospheric kind of edits, and really the weather and the mood influences that. Whereas in summer, if I've got like bright light, we haven't got that today. It's raining today. But if I've got bright light, then I'm kind of more. I edit towards a more like cleaner kind of style. So I think the biggest influence of that is just the weather conditions, really. And I think that's my biggest struggle is I've got these different ways I like to edit, but how can you formulate that into like a consistent kind of style that you display online? There's a nice lady in the window here. You may want a phone, but again, yeah, I'll take it, but so you get the reflection back of the street as well, so it's not a bad shot. Not my favourite ever, but so you get the line with the eye, maybe the bus in the background. Yeah. And get a sip of the coffee. That's quite nice. With the London bus in the background. Oh yeah, perfect. And you've got a big camera like this, it's you're not very elusive, are you? So
Especially not with me following.
yeah, especially not with a big camera following me as well. That's quite cool, actually. There's phone box here, and one side is like covered, or it's concealed at the back, so you can't see through, and the other side's not. And you've got like a nice like cream or stone wall behind it. I'll have to stand in the middle of the road for this shot, but if I can get a person of interest from this side and the right side of the phone box, it might actually be quite a nice shot, but again, yeah. And you can get reflection actually from the left side. So just need a person of interest really to come along. That's, again, it's a waiting game, right? So this is part of the. It's all part of it. Nice couple. Yeah, good. Yeah. Woohoo! Happy with that one. Yeah. Happy with that one.
Worth waiting then.
Yeah. Got a big tour group now, so we can get any more detailed, like maybe an out of focus one, or focusing on the window pane that's. I think, yeah, obviously you referenced our portrait work. I think with that, I think it draws from the same inspiration, I suppose, as street does. What you touched earlier on about the story, you know, capturing little unique moments and stories in people's daily lives. With my portrait work, I always try and capture some sort of story, or there's always like an idea. There's a drawn up kind of plan behind the shoot. So I never go into a shoot with just, okay, let's get some nice portraits. It's okay, what emotion are we trying to portray here, or what story are we trying to portray? And hopefully that comes across in the images and the sets that I obviously showcase. So inspiration can come from anywhere for my portraits. It can come from movies, TV shows, images you see online, or it can come from anywhere really, or just generally the feelings I'm feeling that day or that week, or someone I connect with, something they're going through. I might draw on that as well. So I think it comes from a lot of places. But again, it's all focused around that whole story and portraying a story and showcasing some sort of story. So, yeah. Advice to someone starting street. I think mainly just get out on the streets and shoot basically as much as you can, but also try and surround yourself with people that are looking to shoot similar stuff. Sorry, mate. And don't get in people's shots. That's one sound advice. That's when you lose friends, when you get people getting people's shots. Yeah, trying to sound like-minded people and just get out on the street and shoot as much as possible. That's the key advice, really. I think the more you practice, the more you get better, right? So that's anything in life. So, yeah, future-wise for my photography, I think I'm looking more towards the kind of like street's always going to be an outlet for me. I love shooting street. I love connecting with different street photographers, if that's in London or wherever I travel to around the world. But for me going forward, I think I'm more looking towards my portrait side and how I can develop that further, especially work-wise into more fashion and editorial kind of stuff. So that's my main focus over the next kind of year, is more into kind of that portrait side, as well as video as well, and really pushing the video side of it, because that's something it's major up there on my, it's high up on my list to get that video kind of, and start producing video portraits and maybe more, London atmospheric kind of videos, showcasing the atmosphere of London maybe. I just switched over to my film, Nikon F100. I've got about 10 more images to take on this roll, a Portrait 400, so I thought it was a good opportunity being in here in the Tate to use them up. Especially as there's nice light coming through the window and from the ceiling. Hopefully we can get some nice light and shadow kind of moments. So let's see what we can find. Oh, hang on. So my 3 favourite photos I've taken. Good question. I think it's always a hard question to answer because I think it comes back to printing your work. I think ideally you should print your work more. So I think then you have a big appreciation for the work you produce. But when you see it on just Instagram, it's displayed and it's kind of like, it's hard. Sometimes you can get into the mindset of like just posting. You're producing to post to stay consistent for an algorithm that you're trying to understand. So you don't have that real moment for your work to be like, to really appreciate and look at it in detail. But if there was a few to jump out, I think I'm going to start with a portrait that I took in Paris, and it's back in 2021. And I reached out to this model in Paris, and my friend did, and end up seeing a few pictures on a page that was shot on a rooftop in Paris, with kind of overlooking the Eiffel Tower, and we asked where it was taken, and it was actually her rooftop. So went up there, climbed this rooftop, and this rooftop was a cement like that wide path on top of these roofs with tiles coming down either side and a big drop. Pretty sketchy, but there's probably a story behind it. That's why it means a bit more to me. I'm going off a bit here.
No, that's good. No.
But that stands out for me. It was this girl reading the newspaper on this chimney top, Paris in the background, and for me that's just what always stuck out to me. I actually mean to print it at some point and put it in a frame because it's one that just stands out for me. Second, I think it was one that's probably more recent. There's this unique character in London. You probably know him. He's quite a tall gentleman. Wears a long dress coat with a top hat. And I spotted him in Green Park, and I spotted him instantly, but it was quite busy, and it was at night, and I had to wait for the kind of moment to shoot this fella as he walked. So I remember walking down the middle of the streets, basically, and just waiting for the right window opportunity to kind of take the photo. And it was a perfect moment, and with a shop with lemons and good light, and behind this gentleman, and managed to get this silhouette of him. And that's an image that stands out for me. Again, it took a bit of work to get the image, but maybe that's why it sticks out to me more. But I think overall it's just a really nice image, and I was really happy to capture that. Thirdly, I think it's probably one of my first street images where I thought, I like that photo. That's a good photo. It was actually my first time I met our friend Adrian Varga, actually, and we were out for a sunrise shoot in London. And there was this guy basically crossing the street with his phone, and it was in Bank, and there was this perfect sunlight coming down the street, basically highlighting this guy. And so that would be probably my third favourite. I could mention so many more, but they're probably the 3 that stand out to me most thinking about it now. Again, very hard question because I don't think I print my work enough. So, you could ask me the question tomorrow and it'd be a completely different answer. But yeah, they're my 3. I say it's a gorgeous view. You kind of get St. Paul's, which is great, but then you get the brutalistic Barbican in the background as well. So yeah, I'm not sure it was the best view ever. I need to go manual, but I can't see it to go manual. One bit of advice I'll give myself starting out now, just be to slow down. Don't rush it, basically. Wait for moments to come. I think I was eager before, I was overshooting, running around, trying to get all these shots and a number of shots, where now just take your time. Moments will come. And through not rushing around, you might capture some more unique moments. So I think for me, just time. Take your time, slow down, would be my advice.